Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to my power, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone who teach this truth. Salutation to you brothers all across the world, you confusion of face brothers. Salakia and Shalom to the hopeful elect. And this is out of Yahoo. Pentagon fails its first ever audit, official says. And why is this significant? Really, the spirit has been put on Esau to cuss out Esau, audit Esau, and there's really been like a true sedition amongst these people. They've been tearing each other apart, you know, because there's only one reason why the Pentagon would get audited all of a sudden. Well, you got some infighting here. That's what it seems to be like, because it never happened any time before. All right, Pentagon has failed what is being called its first ever comprehensive audit. A senior official said, finding the U.S. Department of Defense Defense Department accounting discrepancies that could take years to resolve. All right, because this is all old shit, even going all the way back to the early 2000s. You know, they're basically doing a full audit. Something ain't adding up. Results of the inspection, conducted by some 1,200 auditors and examining financial accounting on a wide range of spending, including weapon systems, military personnel, and property, were expected to be completed later in the day. And there's no way that they're going to be able to do an audit that fast. So the fact that they just said, hey, listen, something ain't right here from the jump, that just goes to show that this is an ongoing thing. This is over 1,000 auditors, man. So there's definitely some sedition going on. We failed the audit, but we never expected to pass it. Deputy Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan told reporters. And there goes Esau, man. Is that not the most prideful shit you ever heard? He expected to fail the audit. Well, the Most High is basically gonna make you fail the ultimate audit, man, which is the audit of the family, you know. And if you come from the house of Esau, which, I mean, you know, your boy sounds like he's definitely an Edomite. That was a very Edomite thing to say. And he's gonna be getting hit with a nuke. And you know what time it is, man. The only reason why they would have all these audits, they're trying to account for any losses. They're trying to see what sort of money they have spent, what they can scrape up, because they're trying to get their ducks in a row for this war that's ahead. So they're getting their accounting ready. You know what I mean? This is a logistics issue. Definitely. It was an audit on a $2.7 trillion organization. So the fact that we did the audit is substantial. And that's true. You see? Because he knows that there's a significance to this. The U.S. defense budget for the 2018 fiscal year that ended on September 30th was about $700 billion. All right. Now they spend that. You know, they've been spending that, but it gets higher and higher and higher. And I feel like that's why they had the audit, because at this point, you know, there's money going every which way. Pentagon is a huge agency with multiple branches of military, costly weapon systems, right? So they have the military, everything that the military does, man, the Pentagon has something to do with. Costly weapon systems, I mean, we already know exactly what those are. Large personnel needs, and a lot of the logistics as far as, you know, the military and how they order food, water, tents, the rest of it. A lot of those numbers get worked up at the Pentagon. So the fact that they're doing a lot of investigation up there, man, internally, that is showing something. All right. So this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right? So this is talking about how eventually this shit is gonna cease. All of these headquarters, these bases, man, these high places of wickedness, because I mean the Pentagon is a wicked place by definition. Wait, because the end is coming, and you can tell because of this audit that they're doing something, man. They're doing something. They're about to do something. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And who does that sound like? That sounds like everybody in the damn Pentagon. And not only that, but Esau as a whole. You really think they're doing anything positive up in that building? No. Of course not. But the just shall live by his faith. And who's the just? Israel, the 1/3 and the 144,000 hopeful elect. And the faith is that Esau is going to be going down, and that these strongholds, just about everywhere that Esau runs, is going to come to an end, right? And these heathens are going to be under subjection, and the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, is going to send his son ultimately to wreak havoc on this place and get things back in its true order. That's going to be the real audit. The real audit is coming real soon, all right? And Esau isn't finna pass. Thus saith the Lord, man. Because there's not shit he can say to all of a sudden reverse this around. I mean, you ever work at a restaurant or really anywhere? You ever work somewhere and they say there's an audit coming? You already know what time it is. Everybody starts shredding shit. People start changing their time clock. All sorts of shit, because they know that they need to get it together before the audit people come. You need to sweep up what you need to sweep up, wipe what you need to wipe. And they just caught them up there with their pants down. So now they're shitting bricks, because they're worried about it. He said, what's his name? Shanahan said he wasn't worried about it. He knew he was going to fail. So he already knew what time it is, man. It says, verse 5, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. So you see that most operations are based primarily out of the Pentagon. That's where the say-so comes out of. You got SOCOM, NORCOM, you got AFRICOM, CENTCOM. These are all bases that Esau operates out of. And one of his main operating chief houses is the Pentagon. You know what I mean? And the Pentagon is not called the Pentagon for no reason. Obviously, 5 sides. And it's one of the headquarters of the devil, aka the so-called white man. It is what it is. And it's getting audited. All right? And it's getting looked at through a microscope. Who enlargeth his desire as hell. So out of these places, like the Pentagon, right? They're doing operations in all sorts of places, man. Countless places, and they're trying to really just absorb as much of this place as they can, and they'll never be satisfied. And that's really what's gonna lead to its downfall, much like Rome. But gathereth unto him all nations. And what does that describe? Here in America, every single nationality that you could possibly be will be found here in Babylon. And heapeth unto him all people. So everybody from around the world dancing in the streets, down in New Orleans. That's a song too. And they knew that this America, and they named a bunch of American cities, right? Because they knew that this is the place where everybody goes. And ultimately, the Lord had people come here to be judged. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And you hear that all over the world. They say, how long are we going to have Babylon running our economy, our judicial system, their laws, their bylaws, the food that they eat, the things that are imported and exported out of their country, they're asking how long? How long will the so-called white man continue to reign terror on this place? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, right? And like the apostle went into, that thick clay is debt. You know what I mean? And that debt cannot be paid for. In fact, they say that the reason why they had this whole deal go down, on a certain day in 2001 was because of debt. America owes more debt than anybody, man. And their thick clay, hey, it's time to pay up. And America has written a check that its ass cannot cash. And it's a fact, man. Verse 7, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee in a wake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? So booty is like treasure, something that you acquire. Verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. So every single place that the so-called white man goes into, he murders, robs, and rapes. So these people are understanding of that all across the world. And hell, that's half the reason why places are getting audited, and people are even being held accountable. Because a lot of the people that are heading these audits and things is Jake. Imagine coming into your job, you're an Edomite, right? You go into the Pentagon, you're an Edomite, and all of a sudden it's some Jake with a suitcase looking into your files. You're going to be terrified, man, but that's what time it is, because the Lord, man, the Lord is putting a spiritual audit on this place. Verse 9, woe to him that coveteth in evil and covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And what do? They put these places, right, these bases in the most strategic areas so that if something does happen, they can have their nest on high. So they can have the most ideal location for war, thinking that they're going to be delivered from the power of evil, which is ultimately these heathens attacking them. These 2/3 attacking them. And then the Most High coming in destroying them with the innumerable amount of angels. So if the niggas don't get you, if the niggas in the street don't get you, then your own people don't get you, then the Most High is just gonna come. So a lot of these elites are just done for, man, and they know it. Verse 10, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. All right, and that's pretty self-explanatory, because they've definitely consulted. The Pentagon is a place where they consult a lot of shit, a lot of missions. All right, ultimately, Esau has a lot of places where he consults. The UN building in New York, that's a big place of talks. Esau really does push a lot of agendas and get a lot of things done. Verse 11, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Right? Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. And what did the so-called white man do in America? He established this place not only on blood, but on iniquity also. Right? And the stone is going to cry out of the wall. So people are going to speak. And the beam out of the timber shall answer it. So you're going to get answers, man. You're going to get answers from the hopeful elect. Hell, you're going to get some answers from Esau through the news. You know what I mean? But people are going to cry out. These things are being spoken about, and ultimately the internet is the reason why these things are being seen. Verse 13, behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, and as the waters cover the sea. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. So this is a lot of you niggas out here who are really trying to I was gonna say Babyloniatize, but that's not a word. But shit, turn a person into a Babylonian. It's almost like when you go to the club, you know. And I've never been to the club myself, but you know when you go to the club. But this is just in the spirit. When you go to the club, when a chick is pouring a drink in your mouth, she's looking at you to get fucked up. You see, when your woman, it's like when your woman wants to get you drunk in order to lay with you. You know, as you drink the alcohol, what does she say? Oh, how does it taste? Oh, do you want another shot? Oh, don't be a pussy, you know. Drink, because she wants you to consume that alcohol, and she wants to look upon your face while you do it. So that's what it's talking about. Do not make your neighbor drink that weird philosophy. Those like saying that so-called white man isn't the devil. You're getting your neighbor drunk by saying that. The so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Plain and simple. It's not something to argue, man. Verse 16, thou art filled with shame for glory. So where you should have glory, you have shame. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. So that's talking about really that foreskin, meaning your unlearned spirit, your unlearned mind, and have that being uncovered, right? By being circumcised through Yahushua HaMashiach. You know what I mean? And having that word, right? That's that word is what's being uncovered. And it says, the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee. And who's the Lord's right hand? First of all, his angels. Second, the men on the earth, right? The hopeful elect. That's his right hand, right? And shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So we're constantly prophesying against the so-called white man. All right, and it says, verse 17, for the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of beasts which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Verse 18, what profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof hath graven it? So what does he profit? He gets to live his life in excess. He gets to believe that he is God, right? The so-called white man. He took this graven image, right, which is white Jesus, Caesar Borgia, and he has profited much. People pay 10% of their tithes to church, right? All sorts of things. This place has been established on the fact that they thought that they were God's people. Every time they killed people within a land, they said they did it because they were trying to expand the USA. What do they call that? Manifest destiny, right? They said, okay, we're going to make America, and we're going to kill anybody who gets in our way, you know, and God loves America. And they still say it to this day, God bless America. But you already know that's a lie, man. The molten image and a teacher of lies, right? Who's the teacher of lies? So-called white man, aka Satan. That the maker of his work trusteth therein, to make dumb idols. Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach, right? And that's talking about the wood is representing of that Christianity. People think that just because they carry around a cross and they put it on their forehead and mumble some shit that things are going to arise, you know. And the stone, the dumb stone, is that cobblestone out in Mecca. They circle around it and they dance. And when they dance around it, a lot of people fall and they get trampled to death. And people still don't care, right? And what is something that's dumb? Something that's dumb is something that cannot speak, right? So that stone cannot speak. So these people are worshiping an idol, yet they believe that they are something special, when they're nothing but Ishmaelites, man. That's it. They're just heathens. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. And what do? They there's not only gold on it and silver, but they give it flowers and all sorts of shit, decorating it and the rest of it. This is the last verse, and then I'll end the video. Verse 20. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. All right? Let's read that one more time. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. So there's nothing you can say to the Most High, man. There's nothing you can do. His will be done on this earth. You know? Much like it is in heaven. Everything is done because of his will. If you listen to the video, it's his will. If you don't listen, it's his will. You know, don't be concerned about the views or what the people's opinions are, man, because this shit is happening regardless. You know? It's just a matter of time, man. Alright. I'm going to read the end of this, too. It says, to clarify, the audit is not a pass-fail process. We did not receive an adverse finding, the lowest possible category in any area. U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Buscino, a Pentagon spokesman, said in an email. We did receive findings of disclaimer in multiple areas. Clearly more work lies ahead of us. So he knows, man. He knows that this shit ain't over. They're going to keep probing everything. Right? Because all the money has to be accounted for in order for them to just bring all the money together for war, man. But, yeah. Whoever believes that Babylon isn't falling, man, you a fool, man. You a fool, man. So with that, I just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash, and Shalom to the hopeful elect.